Hello, I'm the Pageant Nerd, and this is my review of Miss Universe Philippines 2022. Now, I only released a video a couple of days ago, which was my updated clip on the longest all-time placement streaks at Miss Universe, but I have had some comments not only recently, but over the last 2 years that I don't release content quickly enough, and I know I've said that I would try and do it more regularly in the past. I've also had COVID the last couple of weeks, so that has also been a factor in me getting fewer videos out as much as I'd like to. Miss Universe Philippines 2022 was the third under the national directorship of Shamsi Supsup, but the first held in front of a live audience, that being at the Mall of Asia Arena in Pasay. Now, you've obviously seen lots of review video clips, and I did watch it live. I had the opportunity to watch it live on YouTube here in Australia, and it was a great show. I was very impressed with it. There were some points in it that maybe dragged on a bit, and I'm probably used to the productions of Miss Universe itself, and that goes at quite a fast pace. But I also appreciate that there was a lot of time given to local performing artists, which was awesome, and the actual production of the competition itself gave a lot of time to the contestants, which, as you've seen in my Miss Universe 2021 review, I felt that was lacking, where the contestants were often cut off before their performances in swimsuit and evening gown were complete. Now, I felt that there was ample time given to all the contestants during finals night, and so both the judges and the audience in the arena and also at home got to make their selections and to ultimately pick their winner. And you could say that this was the first time that one of the favourites ended up taking the crown, with Rabia Mateo and Beatriz Luigi Gomez winning the last 2 crowns, and they were considered dark horses going into finals night. And in reality, it was going to be down to the women that ended up holding hands at the end: Pasay, Celeste Cortesi, and Makati, Michelle D. And it was no surprise to me. I felt that they were very much the front runners, and it was also no surprise that they took the 2 biggest awards on the night. Celeste taking Best in Swimsuit, and Michelle winning Best in Evening Gown. Miss Bohol, Pauline Amelinx, who was 3rd runner-up in the inaugural pageant in 2020, was back and performed extremely well. And Taguig and Baguio were also some of my favourites, but in reality I felt that it was going to be down to Celeste and Michelle for the crown. And they, in my mind, were the only 2 legitimate contenders for the title to represent the Philippines at Miss Universe 2022. And of course aiming for that 13th consecutive placement, and who knows, maybe their 5th crown. Going into finals night, Celeste was the favourite amongst most pageant experts, and in the end that was the final result. While I didn't release any final predictions ahead of finals night, I must admit that Makati, Michelle D, was my favourite for the crown. Having said that, watching Celeste's performance on finals night, her undeniable beauty and her elegance, stage presence and speaking ability made it very clear to me in the end why she was crowned the winner. I personally thought that Michelle may have performed better in the Q&A rounds because of her Miss World experience, and I know that Celeste had her Miss Earth experience as well. But to compete in an alpha pageant like Miss World must have given Michelle lots of confidence, and the fact that she reached the top 12 there meant that she was a very strong performer. And so the fact that she actually chose to put herself up for contention for Miss Universe Philippines, I thought was a very brave move, considering that the last person to do that for the Philippines was Catriona Gray, who ended up going on to win the Miss Universe crown. And let's not forget Andrea Meza, who was 1st runner-up at Miss World 2017, then going on to win Miss Universe 2020. So, in the final stages of the competition, I felt that Michelle's answer in the top 5 Q&A, in response to the question, what is your greatest fear and how do you deal with it? The fact that she said her greatest fear was making a fool of herself, I didn't think was necessarily the right answer in a pageant. Now, I think it's perfectly fine to be talking about one's insecurities, but when you are in a pageant such as Miss Universe Philippines, I think that the expectation is that you are going to answer something a little bit more around the world or about human condition, and the fact that she was probably a little bit too self-conscious in that regard was probably not the strongest answer. And by contrast, Celeste spoke about family when she was asked if she could stop time for a day, how would she spend it? Now, Celeste was born in the Philippines, but she spent much of her life living in Italy with her family. But she moved back to the Philippines recently on her own, and so due to COVID, for the past 2 years, she hasn't seen her family. And she said that she would spend the day with her mother, whom she is very, very close to. And that in itself I thought was a much stronger answer, which really I felt sealed the deal for Celeste. And even though Celeste clearly performed exceptionally in swimsuit and evening gown, with that final answer, I felt that standing hand in hand with Michelle as the final two, it wasn't a huge surprise that Celeste was crowned the new Miss Universe Philippines 2022. So as I've already said, we had crossover queens as the final two, with Michelle placing top 12 at Miss World 2019 and Celeste making the top 8 at Miss Earth 2018. And you can see her transformation from that pageant. Her styling has been radically changed, and I think that she has really put in a lot of hard work, not only herself, but obviously her team, and immediately she has become one of the front runners for the Miss Universe crown, and I will talk about that further in a second. But of course, the other major story at Miss Universe Philippines was the presence of so many former Miss Universes, and of course the current one as well. We had 3 former Miss Universes hosting the pageant. Pia Wurtzbach from 2015 and the Pride of the Philippines. We also had Iris Mittenaere from 2016, who was crowned in Manila, and Demi Lee Thibault, who was Demi Lee Nell Peters when she won the crown in Las Vegas in 2017. We had Harnaz Sandhu on the judging panel for both the prelims and for finals night. We had Catriona Gray, also Pride of the Philippines from 2018, recording a video segment because she was unable to attend the finals night itself as she had other jobs to do elsewhere in the Philippines. And we also had Miss Universe 1973 from the Philippines, Margarita Moran, in the audience. The ensemble changes from the host was incredible, and it was amazing to see Pia pay tribute to all 4 Miss Universe winners from the Philippines, Gloria Diaz, Margarita Moran herself, and Catriona Gray with 4 of the outfits that she wore on finals night. And Vavavoom, the red outfit that she wore as a tribute to Catriona was extremely sexy, and I thought that was quite a showstopper for the evening. Now, there's been discussion around the fact that some of the national pageants have made a concerted effort to invite former Miss Universe winners to their national pageants and to be appearing either as judges or as special guests or as hosts on finals night. And some people are contending that it is an unfair advantage for those national organisations that have the money to pay for former queens to attend their finals nights, because that in itself potentially has some sway with the Miss Universe organisation and influencing the success of their contestants in subsequent Miss Universe pageants. So not only have we seen Miss Universe Philippines 2022, we also saw the last Miss South Africa featuring former title holders and the current title holder at the time, Andrea Meza. And Putri Indonesia has invited the international queens from Miss Universe, Miss International and Miss Supranational for a number of years, and some are arguing that has had a positive impact on Indonesia's success at Miss Universe. So the question must be asked, do national organisations that pay for current and former title holders to come to their pageants influence their success at subsequent Miss Universe pageants? Yes, it may build a stronger bond between the national organisation and the MUO, But ultimately, I personally feel that the contestants still need to be prepared and to be worthy of qualifying for the semi-finals in order to succeed and go far. Yes, it may give the pageant organisations a bit more visibility with the Miss Universe organisation, and it's also a reflection of the popularity of pageants in that country. You see that with the likes of Indonesia, the Philippines, South Africa, etc. And yes, Indonesia has excelled at Miss Universe in recent years and placing many times over the last decade, but ultimately they have yet to win the title. So yes, it may have given Indonesia more visibility with the international organisation, but it ultimately still comes down to the best prepared contestants that win the title. Now returning to our brand new Miss Universe Philippines 2022, Celeste Cortesi, a 24-year-old Filipino-Italian model. And she is only one of 9 contestants selected thus far for the upcoming Miss Universe pageant, and the location of that and the date of that is yet to be determined. No surprise there, because we're only in May, and typically the host venue for Miss Universe is only been revealed a matter of weeks or months before finals night, so let's expect to be waiting a little bit longer. But nonetheless, Celeste is absolutely one of the early frontrunners in that small group. So who would the other ones be? Well, I guess it's no surprise that Colombia and Venezuela are considered the 2 other frontrunners for the crown at this very early stage. Now, contestants from countries such as Malta and Ghana have generated some early buzz, but we only have 9 contestants that we're choosing from at the moment. Now, Miss France has been selected, but to this point it hasn't been announced whether their winner will be going to Miss World or Miss Universe. Now, in the past, Miss France used to go to both pageants, but that was when Miss World and Miss Universe were held in different months, and it was logistically possible for the same contestant to attend both pageants. But that is currently no longer the case, because Miss World and Miss Universe are typically held in December. But if Miss France does get selected to go to Miss Universe, she will absolutely be one of the frontrunners. But if we're only talking about confirmed contestants, I would say that Colombia and Venezuela are the 2 main threats to Celeste at this early stage for the Miss Universe title. Now, Colombia's representative, Maria Fernanda Aristazábal, was appointed as Miss Universe Colombia 2022, having won the Señorita Colombia title in 2019. Now, unfortunately for her, she was selected initially to go to Miss Universe 2019, but there was a change of owner of the Colombian franchise to Miss Universe, and as such, Maria Fernanda, or Mafe as she is affectionately called, was ultimately sidelined from attending Miss Universe 2019. She had an extended reign due to COVID, but in the end she didn't actually compete in an international pageant, which was a huge shame for many of her fans, because they do believe that she's an extremely strong contender, and I do agree as well. So it was wonderful to see in April of this year the announcement that Mafe was going to Miss Universe. And it was nice to see that loop closed both for Mafe and the Colombian pageant community, because it felt like one of those great injustices, and maybe one that was never going to be rectified. So that was lovely to see, and I look forward to seeing her compete at the next Miss Universe. Venezuela's delegate for Miss Universe 2022 was selected at the end of last year. Amanda Dudamel is absolutely a strong contender. Many would argue that the new directorship of the Miss Venezuela organization has not performed up to expectations following their takeover of the franchise from Osmel Sosa in 2018. Now, yes, in 2018, Venezuela placed second runner-up, but Stephanie Gutierrez was actually selected under Osmel Sosa's directorship. So in the 3 years that the new Miss Venezuela organization has selected their delegate for Miss Universe, they have had 2 first cut placements in 2019 and 2021, and a non-placement in 2020. Now, I've had some of my viewers make comments to me recently that they miss Osmel Sosa and they wish that he was still in charge of Miss Venezuela. So hopefully Amanda can reverse that trend. I personally hold out some pretty high hopes that she may well do that. And she's obviously spectacularly beautiful. She has incredible style and stage presence. But the one thing that I see that potentially sets her apart from her predecessors is her command of English. Now, I saw that during the selection of Miss Venezuela, she was asked to speak English in some of the preliminary interviews, and her English, while not perfect, is definitely stronger than the three predecessors that have been selected under the new directorship. So, knowing that the Miss Universe organisation and IMGWME is looking for a spokesperson, not a model, that is definitely a positive for Amanda and for Miss Venezuela. So this year we're hoping that we may get over 90 contestants again after a couple of years going much lower than that due to COVID. We're seeing the return of many countries, one of which is the Seychelles, which hasn't competed for more than 20 years, so that's very exciting to see. Now, at the top end of the scale, you would see that Miss USA and Miss Diva Universe from India have not been selected yet. Now, who is going to replace Harnaz Sandhu as Miss Diva Universe is yet to be decided, and clearly they will have a lot of pressure on them to continue the recent run of very strong results. Not only Harnaz, who obviously won the title last year, but also Adeline Castellino, who placed third runner-up in 2020. Elle Smith is the reigning Miss USA, and she reached the top 10 in Israel last year, and I personally thought that she may have had a chance to reach the top 5. Now, Crystal Stewart, Miss USA 2008, is the new national director for the American franchise, and so the pressure will be on her to see if they can reach the top 5 for the first time since Olivia Jordan in 2015. We also have Canada, Mexico and Indonesia selecting their delegates in the next couple of months. Now, as we know, Indonesia did not compete in Miss Universe last year, so they'll be making a welcome return as well. Vietnam has placed at Miss Universe for the past 4 years, and their new delegate will be selected in June. And rumours are excitedly swirling that both Miss Supranational 2019, Antonia Porsild, and Miss World 2018 first runner-up, Nicolene Limsnukan, are both entering Miss Universe Thailand. So that's a wrap on my quick Miss Universe Philippines review, and just looking ahead briefly to Miss Universe 2022 itself. I will be back soon with part 3, the third and final part of my series on the longest placement streaks at Miss Universe, and as I've said, I will definitely try and create more videos, and maybe more like this, in the near future. But in the meantime, I'm the Pageant Nerd. Bye for now.